here for the under-20s. And it's the Panthers v North Shore United. Nadia McDonald stepping off the court now and sitting on the sideline as a coach. Got some really big lineups tonight. We'll run them through quickly. Jack Whiteheadle, Panthers coach, has selected Nalani Makunde in goal shooter, Megan Bull in goal attack, Chelsea Bolton in wing attack, Riley Towell in centre, Liana Hogarth in wing defence, Catherine Tavaga in goal defence, and Renee Mihire in goalkeeper. As United get the first goal on the board, forcing a turnover here to Friday. North Shore, coach Nadia McDonald has selected Isabella Ward in goal shooter, Lucinda Drynan in goal attack as they're up by 2. Drynan just playing the Opens game before this match for a quarter. And we've got Sophie McLennan-Pike in wing attack, Jessica Lagaya in centre, Grace Pillen in wing defence, Chloe Friday taking that intercept before in goal defence, and Dakota Thomas rounding out the team in goalkeeper. Oh, lovely shot. Abby McCulloch from the Swifts is back with us for this game. First thoughts?
Yeah, really good start by North Shore United. They were out of the blocks quickly. I wasn't able to see much of their warm-up because they were down the other end of the court, but I thought the Panthers warmed up really well. So it's interesting to see that they're a bit slow out of the blocks. And they're going to get an opportunity to put it 4-0.
Makunde pulled up straight away, trying to create some space for herself.
Yeah, just a bit of a shove with that elbow. Can't do that, unfortunately.
It's good umpiring, though, because quite often that goes the other way.
Yeah, absolutely, and often defenders get pinged a bit more than attackers do, and usually it's because we are in fault more often than not, but on those odd occasions where the shooter is doing the wrong thing, sometimes that gets missed, so it's good to see that picked up.
Lovely little tip with the outside head by Mihire has forced an opportunity for the Panthers.
Yeah, and they really needed that, so hopefully they can convert this. And
should they win tonight, they'll be minor premiers.
That's a bit of an incentive, isn't it?
Very much so. They're down by 4 at the moment, 2 minutes gone. Our umpires for this match, Thomas Turner and Taylor Vivell.
They're on the board. That was an easy goal for them. Bit of confusion as to whose centre it was. Well, it's good of the umpires to stop the game and figure that out, because you never want the same team taking 2 centre passes in a row. It happens, but it's not ideal.
And while we talk about the Panthers fighting out for the minor premiership as the ball goes loose through the midcourt, trailing out of the goal third. Panthers throw in. North Shore can still make the semis. They just need some other things to happen as well. So if Erna lose this week, who are playing UTS in second place up on another court, and they also are able to improve their goal percentage, United that is, they can still make the top 4. So it's going to be slim pickings.
Well, that's incentive all across the board. For the Panthers, it's the minor premierships, and for United, it's a chance to play in the final. So this is going to be a good game, I think.
And United starting really strong, so you can tell they're going for it. Mihire straight on the rebound. Hogarth over the top, tipped by Lucinda Drynan, doesn't stop the passage. Bull, edge of the circle. Thomas has forced an intercept, but the ball's popped out the baseline.
That was really good front position there by Thomas. Unfortunately, she got caught behind on that second pass in there, but the first one was brilliant.
There's a lot of people out here tonight to watch this match. Cold Netball Central. You can see Lisa Behag from the Opens Panthers side up at the back looking on.
Yeah, I suspect she's up there looking at who she might be able to bring up to the Opens team next year, which I'm sure Jacqua won't be too happy about if the girls are still able to play under 20s.
Tavaga going horizontal to Bolton now. Makunde. Good strong arms. Adds another to the Panthers tally. 4 apiece here. Bolton tipping it. Unfortunately, both defenders pulled out. And too easy to feed to Drynan.
Again, Thomas is just caught in that back position. She needs to work her feet around and get in front so she can have a proper goal at the ball.
So can you believe it, Abby McCulloch? Bolton, who's in wing attack, actually broke her arm earlier in the season. And after 4 to 6 weeks in a cast, has been cleared to play tonight.
This is her first game back.
Very speedy recovery.
Very speedy recovery. I guess the good thing about it, well, there's no real good thing about a broken arm, is there? But the one benefit is that she can still get out and do her fitness and keep her agility up, because you don't need your arm for that. You just got to keep the ball out of it. So she looks like she hasn't missed a beat out there.
Jacqua said her rehab was perfect, which is why she's been able to come back so quickly.
Well, I'm sure she's very happy about that, Jacqua in particular, because, as you said, this is an important game for them if they want that minor premiership.
So with the team chat this week, the last few times I've spoken to Jacqua Heddle, she's mentioned consistency being the Panthers' problem. But she said it's interesting because that seems to have turned around now. And now it's about doing the little things right. So getting the execution right, then the results that you need. So focusing on those little things and refining everything that they've been doing all year. So not going to go over anything new for now, as you'd expect, but just talking about skills and strategy and getting that focus right.
Yeah, and I guess they've done the work now. They're in the finals. They're sitting in that minor premiership position right now, so they don't need to introduce anything new. They just need to make sure they're refining what they already do really well and make sure that they've got 1 or 2 tricks in the bag where they can change it up where they need to. But that's good. Consistency is usually a big problem for young teams, so it's good that that doesn't seem to be the issue, so they should be very happy with themselves with that.
Makunde was lucky to pick that one up. Friday and Thomas are doing really well in the circle as defence. In front now. Arm so long, she's pretty much just placing it in.
Yeah, don't you hate that if you're a goalkeeper? It makes rebounding difficult as well.
Lovely jump from Lagaya, although the pass was a bit wayward, and it's popped out the back line.
Yeah, probably just not the right option there. She needed to steady her feet and then make a decision on what was the best option for her. She only looked into the circle. She didn't open up her vision to the rest of the court there.
Long ball, Bolton to Tao. Although that was a mistake. Because North Shore have got it now. Makunde switching offense to defense. Winning her own ball, and now she's going to add a point with that effort. Well done. There's Lisa Behag. Bull not happy with the option. Going back into the midcourt, creating something for herself. Now Makunde, left-hand side of the post. Up and in.
Yeah, Thomas needs to really change up what she's doing here. I feel like we're just getting shots right under the post at the moment. We need to make her work a bit harder and get her away from the post. It's too easy for her. The shooter gets the ball under the post, it's usually going in.
So North Shore had a nice little lead going, but now they're down by 1. And the Panthers have been able to turn that momentum around really quickly, Abby.
Yeah, really quickly. Like I said, United seem to get out of the blocks really quick, and they seem to have slowed down a little bit now. That might be because they've settled into the game. But they need to make sure that they don't drop off too much, otherwise this could run away on them.
Platinum Plaque, good timing with the feed. But it's the Panthers that are on the end of the rebound. To Varga. Now Hogarth. Stuck in that goal third at the moment. 4 passes in there. Moving to the midcourt. Still stuck, forced back into that goal third. This is good defence by North Shore.
Very good defence. Now we need someone to have a goal at the ball here. They've put the pressure on. There we go. That's the turnover they wanted. They caused the frustration enough to force a little penalty there.
In the pocket. Oh, Lagarth stealing it off North Shore. Oh. She was lucky then. The ball almost fell into McLennan Park's hands. Coming through at the last minute. And now ball, baseline, going to have a crack at it anyway. Missed. Dakota Tonnis and Friday are on the rebounds, but Makunde's got it. Towel, edge of the circle. Ugh. It's never good when someone's skidding across the court.
No, good commitment though, but again, coming from the back of the player, she needs to make sure she gets her feet coming through the front. This is an important goal here. I know it's early in the game, but the North Shore United team really need to make sure they put another one on the board here, and they have.
Converting effort to points early on in this match. Is what's going to depict what happens from here on in. Bolton. Held ball. Nice defensive pressure from Grace Pillon with those long arms. Drynan up and over.
Good strong take.
And Ward does well. Adds another. Long ball. Ends up in Renee Mahiro's hands. That pass was a bit off.
Yeah, it was probably the very wrong pass. That's one of those passes you throw when you're a bit under pressure and you're not sure what to do. And they usually end up in the defender's hands, unfortunately.
Right, we're 10 apiece. There's no need to panic, is there?
10 apiece with 3 quarters to play, so no need to panic at all.
Your maths is good. That's something we really lack on this broadcast. My maths is terrible.
I wouldn't say it was good, but I'll take the compliment.
Strong ball.
Good take.
Strong balls all the way up the court, in fact. Lagaya now. Fantastic hands from Mahire. Ball's out of play. Up and over. Shooter to shooter. Bounced out.
Bit of a ping pong in there, but Panthers come up with it.
Tavaga was not giving up on that ball. Two minutes of play. The Panthers lead by 1.
That was much better footwork by Thomas. She was working the front of the body, changing up her angle, which forced the ball to go probably not where it should have gone, and she got a little bit of a touch on it. Contact, but at least she's getting herself in a better spot now.
Forcing them to shoot from a harder angle at least.
That's right.
And McLennan Pike, nice drive for that centre pass. Although it's a held ball, she had no options to push forward.
That's a hell ball apiece now for both teams, so it just goes to show the pressure that's out there in defence at the moment. That's a great intercept.
Great vision from Thomas coming through, collecting that. Using it to her advantage now. North Shore need to convert this to points, but it ends up in Bolton's hands. And now the Panthers in attack. Bull. Makunde's now out of the circle. Good defence by Friday, blocking the bounce pass. Edge of the circle now, inside. Tries the fakey Bull, doesn't work. It's still a long way out.
I think you'll find there might be a bit of an offload here. No, she's gone for the shot.
Oh, made it in too.
Good decision.
It's impressive shooting. A lot of dodge happening in Megan Bull's game. Now she'll go horizontal. Up and over. Towel to Makunde. That was perfect placement.
Yeah, it was a long way out that ball was placed from too, so it needs to be pinpoint accurate, and it was. And that was right on the buzzer too, so it puts them 4 goals up at quarter time, so it was a nice way to end the quarter for them.
Let's check out the ladder in this under-20s competition. We mentioned before that North Shore can still make it tonight should the Erna Hawks lose and United improve their goal percentage, and the Panthers so strong in that top spot. Should they win tonight, they'll take out the minor premiership and march on towards the semi-finals. They look really tough to beat, Abby.
They do, and as I said, they had a really good warm-up, lots of voice and lots of talk with one another. They were extremely loud in comparison to the United team, so I suspect that that's going to play in their favour as the game goes on and people get tired. As you get tired, you get more quiet, so I feel like the Panthers are going to potentially roll on through with this win.
All right, well, we'll check out the other scores happening around the traps and update you with those when we come back for the second quarter. Heading back out for the second quarter, the Panthers heading towards that minor premiership are up by 4. Step early on from Grace Pillins, not a good sign.
No, and if it wasn't a step, I probably would have called a short pass. That was probably not good space to be running into on the centre pass.
We've seen some changes. Oh, well, we haven't, sorry. Just getting excited. We thought Sarah Caulfield was going to come on in that goal attack position, but turns out she's just sitting there waiting and ready with
just
the bib
in case,
on.
You never know when you might be needed.
So the Panthers and North Shore both unchanged. And Lagai just couldn't connect with that ball. Lovely work from Thomas, pulling it in out of nowhere. That's good hands. The give and go from Pillen. Lagaya now, a fake. Lucky McLennan Pike cleans up the mistake. Nice
Good,
feed.
yeah, good straight flat feed, that one.
Straight where it needed to go.
And they pull one back.
Up around the other courts. On court 1. The Fury and the Heart are locked, 13 apiece. On court 2, the Stingrays and Sapphires also locked 12 apiece. Some funny stuff happening there. And the Sparks are down by 2 against the Erna Hawks, 14-12. So that's a pretty interesting result considering the Sparks are a second on the ladder and the Erna Hawks are in 4th. Plenty of time to turn that around.
It's also a very good time of the year for the Hawks to be peaking.
Yeah, that's
leading
right.
into finals.
Drynan having to work hard to get that centre pass. McLennan Pike, perfect feed. The mid-quarters are doing well on the edge of the circle, Abby.
They are, and that's the thing. They need to get themselves to the edge of the circle because every time they get there, it's a nice, easy feed in. But it's when they're trying to feed the ball in from off the circle edge that things are coming unravelled a little bit.
As mentioned, North Shore need the Erna Hawks to lose tonight if they hope of making the semi-finals. It's not nice to have your fate sealed by other teams, is it, Abby?
No, it's never nice to be relying on results from other teams. It's always good to have your future in your own hands.
And probably looking up at the other court in the breaks, you'd have to say, checking out what's going on.
They'll definitely be having a peek up there, I think, at quarter time, which is probably not ideal. They need to be worrying about this game, but you can't help it sometimes, especially when the courts are so close together.
Up and over. Macoonze just enough space to drop to the back. And look how much stock the Panthers have, should they need to make some changes.
Yes, they've got a very nicely set out bench over there. It looks very professional. I love it. We're seeing all the players sitting there together watching on in earnest to see what they're going to have to do when they get on there themselves. And then they've got their professional coaching staff sitting together as well. I like it.
No empty spots between the players either, so you can see they're all in it together.
And you need that. That's what happens in a championship winning team. You'll find that all the players are in it with the same goals and they're all wanting the same outcome.
So Ward able to pull that ball in. And McLennan Pike fighting for it on the edge of the circle. Now fed to Drynan.
Nice shot. There's just no easy access into that circle at the moment. The Panthers defenders are putting on a lot of pressure and it's just making it very difficult to find that space for the feeders.
And the leaders really pushed out too. They're up by 7 now. So North Shore with that early start. Up nice and early. Now find themselves down and fighting hard. McLennan Pike, lovely drive through the middle of 2 Panthers defenders. Up and over. Ward's foot was out.
Yeah, probably not the right option there. She had 2 defenders on her.
Well, that was lucky.
And we see McLennan Pike down in the corner by herself. So it's just about making those right decisions at the critical moments.
Assessing your options, right?
Yes.
Not going for the obvious one.
No, and it's easier said than done, especially when you're under pressure. But again, I'm not sure that was the right option either.
Lovely direct passing from the Panthers, zigzagging across the court. Must say that their passage of play hasn't been completely easy either. There's been some good defence from North Shore.
Yeah, it was a good tip there by Thomas, and it was cleaned up nicely. Oh, yeah. That one was always going to be a replay, unfortunately.
Up and over. And we see North Shore pick that opportunity up.
There's no love lost out there between Pillen and Bolton. They're both really going hard at the ball. There's nothing malice about what they're doing out there, but I'm really loving their contest.
Some of these passes into the shooters, especially the larger ones, have been off, haven't they? And they're losing points in the sense that they're not actually getting a chance to convert them.
Yeah, no, they're not. And I think that's because they're trying to force the ball in from the transverse line, where they need to just take one or two more passes, get a bit closer, and then they'll be able to deliver a much easier pass in. They're putting their shooters under a lot of pressure at both ends.
And that's the change we are expecting to see at the start of this quarter. Sarah Caulfield now in goal attack, and Drynan heading to the bench. The Panthers heading back now before they head forward again. Bull and Thomas prevents the ball heading to the other shooter. McCoonday too strong, still able to find some space to chase it. And she pushes them to 22 now. 9 goals up over United. There's a mistake, stepping.
And that's probably those silly little errors that Jarkwa was talking about before. Their consistency's good, but now they need to work on not making those errors at crucial times. That would have taken them to 10 up, and now all of a sudden it's only 8.
Caulfield left alone for that centre pass. It's an easy drive for her. Ward. Caulfield now, finishing the job.
That's a good first shot for Crawford. She came into the game at not an ideal time, but she was able to just take a calm breath and put the shot in.
Pass back between Bolton and Bull. And Koonday looking for it, but Bull was confident, opted to go herself. Mahire with some strong defence, but she's unable to stop the pass. Caulfield, left-hand side of the post.
McLennan Pike found herself on the circle edge there, which made it a nice, easy pass into Crawford. So that's what they need to do. They need to get themselves to the circle edge. It's what's going to make life easier for them instead of trying to force it in from the transverse line. Harder work, because you've got to work harder to get there, but it's going to pay off in the end.
McLennan Park's been really strong for them in the midcourt, forcing opportunities.
Yeah, she's presenting really well as well. She's able to change direction hard, and she's getting back into some space.
Caulfield with a chance. Within 7. And Bolton stuck behind Peel, and that was some really good defence by the wing defence, as it is.
Like I said, I think that's a position combination you want to have a look at this game. I think they're going to go hard for full 60 minutes, those two on one another, and we'll see how they end up at the end of the game, hopefully with no more broken wrists.
Well, the 5 games they've played against each other, including pre-season ones, which aren't obviously official, the Panthers have won every single game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. Can North Shore get their first win against this really dominant side? Have they got what it takes, Abby?
Yeah, I think so. They've got enough ball. They've had their hands on enough ball, but it's just about them, as I keep saying. They've got to get themselves to the circle edge to present with an easier pass into the shooters. Because if every time that they haven't done that, they've thrown it away or it's been a drop by their shooter. So they need to make sure they're making it easy for one another. So they can definitely do it.
Just doing some extra work before they try and set up that passing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, they've been getting their hands to ball. That's another great job there by Thomas, their goalkeeper. They need to reward her for the efforts. And that's not rewarding them. Another tip by Thomas. Yeah.
You'd be mistaken for thinking that were up a bit higher. And you're right, it's just that feed that they're really not getting right at the moment. Or even the work up to the feed.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same thing goes for the Panthers. They need to get themselves on the circle edge as well so they can put in a good feed. Every time that they're throwing it from a bit further away, they're putting a lot of pressure on their shooter.
Well, they're definitely edging closer to the Panthers now. Only down by 4, United.
Yeah, they're back in it, aren't they? And we were about to see it go to 10 points, and now all of a sudden it's only 4. That's how quickly a game of netball can change. I know I've been part of many games that have changed very quickly.
Three minutes left. And the Panthers will be hoping for a stronger lead than this at halftime.
Yeah, and I think they thought they were going to have it. I think they might have gotten a little bit complacent out there. So we'll see if they can pull it back out or if it's going to stay nice and close leading into halftime. Well, we're having a change here.
Bolton coming off.
This could be a very strategical change here by Jacqua. You can see the height difference now between the wing attack and wing defence. So it should make finding her easier for the Panthers team.
So interesting dynamic here in the fact that Alana Stilhilski is the wing defence that's come on and her brother is the reserve umpire. Just watching on the side of the court.
Well, lucky he's not umpiring. That could have ended badly. Could have been some fights over the dinner table about his calls later tonight.
What happened to the umpires always right, Abby?
I think they're always right, but I'm sure if it was my brother, it wouldn't be.
She's definitely got some height over Pillen. And Friday, unlucky to pull that intercept in. Oh, it was a pass rather, my bad. Long ball, McLennan Pike still keeps it in play.
That was very clever, knowing how close she was to the sideline there and being able to tip it back into her own teammate.
Fantastic work in the air. Sarah Caulfield, top of the circle now. Now, doing the flip. And spin around, trying to create some space. She's popped out to the top again, but she's a fair way out. Gets it to Ward. Focused. Through the net. Down by 6. That lead has crept out slightly. The Panthers still up with less than a minute on the clock. Lovely hands from Mahire.
Yeah, McLennan Pike just releasing that from her hip. She needs to get it up to her shoulder to get it up and over the top.
Feed, still Hilski. Beautiful work. Makunde finishing it off. Happy fans. ball. Using towel. And they're going to have to work hard here because they're a fair way out and too far out to get the shot right. So that'll be all she wrote for halftime. The Panthers up by 7 goals, 28-21. And let's look at the breakdown. Scoring consistently, 14 apiece.
Yeah, it was a bit of a missed opportunity there at the end by the Panthers, though. They had plenty of time to take that centre pass and put it through into a goal, but they somehow managed to not make that happen. So that's a testament to the defence that the United team just put it on to finish the quarter there.
And who have the standouts for you been?
I've really liked Thomas for the United team. I know she's obviously on the team currently losing, so there's obviously a lot of ball going over her head, but every time that she's in the right position, she's getting her hand to the ball and creating opportunities for her teammates to get the ball back down to their end and put some goals on the board. But unfortunately, they seem to be losing it at about the transverse line here into their attacking end, so they really need to sort that out leading into the next half.
All right, well, you are watching the Samsung Premier League, and Samsung have been hugely influential over netball, especially this year. They're now the naming rights partner of the Diamonds. But we're going to see a little promotion for them right now. Up by 7 after half time. Panthers over United. And our umpires are going to get us underway. I'm just waiting for something here. Not sure what. Oh, here we go. Taylor Favell giving the ball up. And we've got play happening. So we've got some changes made for United. Brooke Pearsall has come on in wing defence.
Yeah, I think that was read beautifully by Thomas. She's been their standout tonight.
Forced a lot of changeovers, definitely.
She has, but unfortunately, every time she seems to get her hands to the ball, they somehow lose it a little bit further down the court, which is a little bit disheartening, but she's just continued to go about getting to the ball.
I'm taking an educated guess here. I'm pretty sure that it's Annabelle Gillings that has come on in goal shooter, which means another change up in shooting for North Shore. Still Hilski. Lovely intercept.
Yeah, that was unlucky. I thought that she might have got the call there because she had nowhere to land. But unfortunately for her, the ball seemed to end up in the United hands. Quick ball over the top. Nice shot.
The Panthers unchanged from the 7 we saw on the court before the halftime break. Their coach obviously happy with what's going on with their team.
Yeah, and I think she's just going to let them build into this game. They had the one change just before halftime, but still Hilski seems to have come on and done quite a good job. So she gets to stay on there, and hopefully, I'm guessing Jacquard's hoping they can continue to build this score.
So Pillen. Should be mentioned that Pillen's now moved to centre.
She has, and she looks like the type that can run around all day, so it was probably not a bad decision.
Probably better height match to Towel in terms of the matchup between the opposition as well, with still Hilski being just that bit too tall.
Yeah, and unfortunately that seems to be what's happening with everyone's getting taller across the board. So people are getting moved further and further down the court, but soon there's going to be nowhere for people to go. So probably a good decision tactical-wise there by Nadia.
So for North Shore this week, their focus has been to try and shut down the Panthers' attacking line-up. And one thing that was really good for them last week was their ball movement. So hoping that the ball speed will get the better of the defenders, and it has done at some points tonight.
Yeah, ball speed's the hardest thing to stop. If the ball's moving quickly, it gets the defenders' heads moving, and therefore they can't see it, so they can't get it. So it's really important that attacking lines keep the ball moving, whether that's a matter of going sideways for a couple of passes before they penetrate down or backwards, but the ball needs to be continuously moving. And if you stop that and you can hold that up, that means that your goalkeeper can get your hands to the ball. We saw Thomas just come out for a really good intercept before. It's because the ball was stagnant. It wasn't moving, so she knew exactly where it was going.
So Nadia McDonald's hoping the sides depend and trust each other rather than worry about what's happened, because there's been a few instances, especially last week, where they made a mistake and put their heads down, and the game's sort of gone from there as a result. They've been really strong tonight. They're only down by 5 now, and they're really giving the Panthers a good run for their money in that top spot.
Yeah, 5 and their centre pass. They just need to make sure that they're converting off their own centre passes, and any other ball they get
is a bonus.
Absolutely, it's a bonus. So you're going to claw their way back into this game. That's a good shot. Now it's only 4.
Almost popped out, but Caulfield will be happy that that one did go through the net. And they're within 4 now. The Panthers 30 to United's 26. 10 minutes left of play in this third quarter. And it is the championship quarter as they refer to it.
They do refer to it as the championship quarter. Games are won and lost here, generally.
Some good yelling being done from the bench. Both sides. Gillings on the end of that, finishing the job.
Yeah, they're both very loud in comparison to our Opens game, aren't they?
It was a bit quiet.
There definitely wasn't as many people in the crowd either, but I guess these girls are only young. Their parents are probably still driving them out, so they have to be here, so they might as well cheer them on while they're here.
And plenty of them are still doing the HSC at the moment, so there's a lot going on in their lives.
It makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially when you're playing this later game and you've got to, especially for someone like the Central Coast Heart who still have a 2-hour round trip back.
Yeah, and then they got to get up and go to school tomorrow. That's a great intercept.
Yeah. Tavaga, outstanding. Read it perfectly.
But again, off the back of a Thomas intercept. So she just keeps working, though. She's just willing to get the ball back continuously. That intercept seems to have sparked Tavaga up a little bit. It was a brilliant intercept, probably the best we've seen tonight.
A tip from Mahire. The ball travels out the side of the court. And now McLennan Pike, edge of the pocket. Quick work between Pillen and McLennan Pike.
That's that ball speed.
It's really nicely done by the mid-quarters. Gillings through the net. Within 4.
A turnover here will make this game extremely interesting.
And Friday had a hand for the ball, but also had a hand on her player. Can't do that.
Can't be pushing in the back.
Probably to steady herself in the air, but still even so.
There we go.
Tip from Thomas. And Friday's first to it. North Shore happy with that.
That was a tough call, I thought.
Yeah.
But, like I said before, the umpire's always right. You can't change their mind once the decision's been made.
Popped out. Friday straight on the rebounds, and she's won that one.
Yeah, that's a bit of netball karma, that one.
Still Hilski trying to pull the ball from Pearson's hands, or Pearsall, rather, sorry. Quick work now. This ball speed has picked up from North Shore. You were mentioning before that Nadia McDonald played for the Sioux when they wore yellow.
Yeah, so it's probably fitting that she's coaching the United team that also wear yellow. So I think she played in 2004 and 2005 as the yellow Swift. So she's got a lot of experience under her belt.
Oh, lovely shot.
And now it's only 2 all of a sudden.
The momentum is swinging.
How quickly a game can change.
To give you the scores from the other courts. Pretty interesting. We had 2 draws when we brought you the scores at quarter time. Although we had one on a different court this time round. The Hawks and Sparks were 23 apiece at half time. Meanwhile, the Rays were up over the Sapphires, 27-20. And the Central Coast Heart leading GWS, 26-23. So certainly tight in all 3 of these games at the moment. And we're within 2 here. Just under 6 minutes on the clock. Still Hilski looking to feed. Makunde's lost her balance. And she'll get a free shot here. Left-hand side of the post.
Dribbles in.
Caulfield driving for the centre pass with a step. There's a mistake she'd like to take back. Stuhilski up and over to Bull, running backwards. Friday, lovely work.
Friday just seems to be everywhere at the moment. She needs to make sure she can keep that up because she's disrupting the play. She's helping out in attack.
Keeping a high intensity in defence. And Gillings has got it, and she's put it through the hoop.
They needed that one back.
Panthers centre. Makunde winning that one. Been a fierce battle between those two the whole game so far.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I don't think I can pinpoint one being on top of the other at the moment.
McLennan, Pike, perfect feed, lovely placement. Keeping that 2-point buffer at the moment. And all of a sudden I'm clock watching Abby McCulloch.
Yeah, I know, I'm getting a bit antsy.
Hand from Thomas.
I've been really impressed with Thomas tonight. She just gets out of the circle. She reads the play really well. She gets up for balls.
Wise move too to stick on Makunde, even though Megan Bull popped out then too, just in case.
Yeah.
Some more pressure.
Bull hasn't put up many shots tonight. Unfortunately for United, the ones that she has put up, she's generally nailed. So it's really important that even though they're doubling back, they need to make sure that they still cover Bull because she can still shoot.
Stuhilski. Megan Bull. Through the hoop. I keep having to check the time again because with all that yelling, I think it's pretty close. Actually still got 3 minutes of play before three-quarter time. And there is only 2 goals separating these teams. First v fifth.
It's nice to hear a bit of passion from the bench.
Just repeating, the Panthers can wrap up the minor premiership with a win tonight. And North Shore, they need the Hawks to lose. And they need to improve their for and against to be able to make it.
Oh, that was a big hit. But no malice in it. She was going for the ball. Everyone jumped straight back up, so no one's hurt. But that was the turnover that they needed. They score here, then it's their centre pass, and all of a sudden the game's tied up.
And Caulfield's been strong since coming on. She's really had an impact in that shooting circle.
She has. She just looks so calm out there, and she's finding space directly under the post, so that's a nice, easy shot for her when she does get her hands on the ball.
That pass was a bit iffy, but I would have liked to see Pearsall pull it in. Her arms were close. Hands of Pillen. Good pressure. Forcing an opportunity here. North Shore, all their players are stuck horizontal. And now Makunde single-handedly got that ball back for the Panthers. She's going to take a shot now and try and finish the job.
Yeah, and I think you'll find that that was because Pillen was looking across court instead of down court, and that's because everyone was standing still. There was no one directly driving towards her. Everyone was just stagnant, so the only way to go was sideways, and Pillen was able to read that nicely.
All right, so North Shore still down by 2 with less than a minute on the clock. They do come into this round on the back of 2 losses. They've been really strong tonight. Last week they lost by 2 goals, 52-50 against UTS in second spot. So they're hoping that 2-goal buffer isn't going to get them again tonight. Meanwhile, the Panthers, 2 wins. GWS and the Central Coast Heart.
They need to be quick here. There's only 9 seconds on the clock, and we need to needs to go in.
Quick work. Can Gillings get this in?
She can. Nice job.
Lovely work.
It goes to show how quickly you can score in netball. They only had 9 seconds on the clock when they took that centre pass, and it was a couple of quick feeds, and they were into the circle for a shot.
So 40-38, the Panthers are leading North Shore, and we look at that breakdown of scores. North Shore won that quarter. Are you surprised?
No, to be honest. I thought after the first quarter the Panthers were going to slowly build on their lead and pull away, but I'm actually really impressed with the way that the North Shore have pulled themselves together and got themselves back into this game. This could go down to the wire, this one. I would have had my money on the Panthers after that first quarter, but now I'm not sure.
Now, of course, there is major netball happening in Australia at the moment. The Diamonds are playing, or have just finished up against South Africa. How did that go down, Abby?
Well, the Diamonds ended up winning, and so they're 2 from 2 in the quad series now. They got up 58-52 against the Spa Proteas from South Africa. From what I can tell, it was a very closely contested game, but in saying that, the Diamonds didn't start with their starting lineup that they have with them. They started with girls that generally sit on the bench, but in my opinion, are good enough to take the court. So it was good to see them out there getting a run, but I'm sure there was a few nerves out there which could, I guess, show why the score was so close towards the end of the game. But, a win's a win. It doesn't matter how many you win by, how ugly the game was, as long as you get those 2 points on the board, and that's what they've done. So it's testament to the Diamonds and their coaching staff, because they are the best in the world.
And at one point when we checked the score, the Proteas were actually leading the Diamonds by 1 point, weren't they? 19-18?
I believe so, yes.
That's really big for them.
Oh, big time. And I think it comes back to a similar thing to England. It's having all those girls from the South African team playing in Australia.
Mostert?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Oh, she's unbelievable, isn't she? So she's really come along in leaps and bounds. She was good before she got here, but now she's just even better. And it's just playing against the best competition in the world, week in and week out, training against them week in and week out. And I mean, she trains against Caitlin Bassett every single week. Like, she's the best shooter in the world, so she's only going to get better, of course.
Some good preparation for these test matches as well. So Australia had never lost a game or drawn with South Africa. They'd won all 34 matches they'd played, so now that'll be 35. And the last time they played back in Canberra, Australia beat South Africa 78-22 in 2001. So it's been a huge development in South Africa coming. I know that's obviously, here's my maths again, Abby McCulloch, 16 years ago, but that's huge, isn't it, coming up against Australia, who is so, so strong.
Yeah, that's massive, and I think that's just not those girls coming over here and getting to play in the SSN. It's also the fact that coaches like Norma Plummer, who used to be the Australian coach, going over and coaching the South African team.
Going to the dark side.
Yeah, going to the dark side, absolutely. But, she's just, I think that's great, because if you're no longer coaching in Australia, why are you restricted? Why not go and teach whatever knowledge
Someone
you
that
have?
needs it.
That's right, and it's obviously paid off because of the game today. As you said, it's been 16 years since the last time they played in Canberra, and they've really pulled that back. 78 goals in 60 minutes of netball is huge. So to pull it back to now 58, so that's minus 20. That's my maths. So they've improved a lot.
Thinking quick. And the Diamonds got up over England 54-50 in their first match of the quad series. That was actually pretty close, considering where the Diamonds in England have been in recent years as well.
Yeah, the English team, I feel a bit sorry for them. I feel like, sorry is probably not the right word, but it's disheartening for them. I think they've been so close.
Come so close.
Yeah, and for so many years now. I mean, that 1 point loss 3 years ago in the Commonwealth Games against Australia, I think it would have put them top of the pool, which would have made their ride to the gold medal match a lot easier. They lost, and then they ended up playing for bronze, and they ended up losing the bronze medal. So they'll be out for blood, I think, at the Commonwealth Games next year. And the fact that I know how much training they've been doing will pay off. They'll be real hard to beat at the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast.
Well, it'll be 2018 before we know it.
Yeah.
And we'll be in Com Games mode. So good to have it up on the Gold Coast and so close to home. And we see Makunde forcing a turnover. She's been really good on the switch from attack to defence, hasn't she?
She has. That's 2 in a row now for her, and that's as I said in the earlier game, it's always good to see your shooters pick up intercepts because it makes it easier for your defenders. So the fact that she's managed to do that twice in a row has really helped the scoreboard for the Panthers.
So there's been no changes either side. Are you surprised that the Panthers haven't made any changes?
No, not necessarily. I think you'll find that this is probably Jacquard's starting 7, plus or minus, is it Bolton who started at wing attack?
Yeah.
So she's probably wanting to run this lineup as much as she can leading into the finals because this is the team she's going to put out on court when push comes to shove, and she wants them to be able to perform. So I'm not overly surprised that she hasn't made any changes.
So North Shore won the last quarter, 16 points to 12. Swing arounds in momentum, and they're now still down by 2. Perfect rebounds. Friday was going for it too. Make that 3 goals now. The Panthers leading United. Quick work. That quick work has forced a mistake. Stepping error.
Yeah, Pillen looked a little bit frustrated after that call too, so she needs to make sure she just forgets about it and keeps playing because you don't want another mistake to creep in.
Makunde, baseline, left-hand side of the post. Looking at the camera, she is actually on a 45-degree angle. Plenty of Panthers players cheering on their side. Bull fed well. And they've pushed out to a 5-goal lead now.
Yeah, within a matter of minutes. Yep, there we go, 5 goals. I was like, oh no, surely my maths can't be that bad. Come on. We're all over it.
The screen's just a little slow to update themselves. It's about to correct myself.
Panthers just look like they're getting on top now. And United need to score next time they get the ball to really stem this run because now we're up to 6. And it hasn't even been 5 minutes. So with their centre pass to come. So it's about to blow out again.
Bull dodging to find the centre pass. And now Towles fell to Makunde underneath. It's becoming too easy these last few centres.
Yeah, Makunde's positioning under the goalpost has been exceptional so far this quarter.
McLennan Pike just fixing the mistake she made. Caulfield calling for it, but she wasn't in a great position. However, she's got it now.
They needed that one, so it was a nice calm shot there from Crawford, even though she was quite a distance from the post. She backed herself in and it paid off.
Call goes Dakota Thomas's way. Didn't last long, that opportunity. And mistakes are going to kill North Shore.
Yeah, and I think it's been a part of their game for the full 60 minutes here. They get their hands to the ball and they make a silly mistake, and it's not one particular area of the court, it's happening across the court. Whereas the Panthers generally get the ball and they're able to get it down for a shot. So that's the difference to me at the moment.
Supportive mums. They're down by 7 United. They need this goal. Caulfield going to use McLennan Pike on the edge. Rolls in. Within 6 now. Just 10 minutes of play left in this game. Just looking at the score, the Sapphires are leading the Hawks. I'm looking at the wrong game, I think. Am I? My eyes aren't that good.
Well, I'm no help to you because I can't see anything.
No, the Hawks are leading the Sparks 46-37, so that's not going to help North Shore either. Long ball. Caulfield. McLennan Pike now to Gillings. Jumping in closer.
I'm not sure what Jacqua said to the girls at three-quarter time, but whatever she said worked because they've come out with just fire in the belly.
All guns blazing. The Panthers working really hard in attack. And Macoonday actually offering a bit of help to Stillhillski then, just pointing at the player she wanted the pass to go to. Directing the play.
They're so bossy, shooters.
Obviously has a good eye from back there though.
Yes, they get to see the court very easily from back there. Similar to the goalkeepers, they see a lot as well. So you might as well listen to them since they can see more than what anyone else can.
And the crowd was really happy with Tavaga there. She tipped it, and it came off another player to give them the throw in. And the ball looks like she's got a little cramp there in the foot. Should also mention that Ward has come on in wing defence for North Shore United.
Again, I think that might be a height thing.
She's a little bit taller than Stillhillski.
Yeah.
And she's moved from shooter to wing defence, so pretty versatile.
Has she? She's a shooter, is she?
Yeah, well, she was in shooter when we started this match.
Versatility.
Yeah, Isabella Ward. Turnover. Thomas to take it. We've got 7.5 minutes left of play. Our clock's slightly off. Just going off the one up on the big screen. Caulfield up and over to Gillings, who's underneath. Adds a point. Within 5. They're fighting United.
Well, we've had a timeout call here.
And we're seeing a swap. McLennan Pike moving into centre for the first time in this match.
I've liked McLennan Pike tonight. I think she's a nice calm head down in that attacking line, especially for an under 20-year-old. She's cool, calm and collected.
And we've seen Lagaya come back on. Wing attack.
This might be the change they needed.
I was lucky because they looked like they were going to lose that ball. Caulfield, right-hand side.
That's a great rebound by Gillies because the pressure over that shot was phenomenal.
Now within 4. So the Panthers are leading United 50-46. As we update our score on Bar TV. Lagai with a little sneaky tip in it, but offside.
Tippy toes offside, I think.
Macoon's no one in front of her. And they're not going to stop the ball getting through the hoop for the Panthers like that, are they? Seems to be a lot of support here for the team.
I've never liked that rule, the not wholly within the circle rule. One, because I don't really get it. But 2, I just feel like if they've got 1 foot in there, surely that's enough.
Well, it's something new that's been brought in with the new netball changes a year or 2 ago now.
Yeah. Lucky I'm not a centre. I reckon I'd be called for that a lot.
Well, I can tell you we played our grand final last week, Abby McCulloch. last weekend, and we did get pulled up for that.
You did. Did you win?
No, we lost.
No. Can't win them all.
We were pretty happy, though, because our club had an Eagles team up against an Eagles team. So either way...
they were winners regardless,
right.
weren't they?
That's right. But obviously with the more experienced umpires for the grand final situation, that's where we got pulled up. So it can be a confusing rule.
Yeah.
Especially if you have some umpires that are well trained in it and pulling it up and others that aren't.
Yeah, you're right, because if you're doing the same thing week in and week out throughout the season, not getting pulled for it, and then all of a sudden, as you said, there's more experienced umpires on the grand final and you get pulled for something you've been doing all year, it can be confusing. So, but that's just all part of the learning. Everyone's learning. The umpires are learning. The players are learning, and it's something that once you figure it out, you're all over it. So
that's right. There's always room for improvement.
Absolutely, for everyone.
And it's tight. I'm looking up at court 1, and GWS are leading the Heart 51-30. So GWS are in third spot, and the Heart are actually in 7th. They're not playing for that much tonight, but they're giving them a good challenge nonetheless. It's now 52-50 GWS's way.
It's always scary coming up against a team that's not going to make finals, because they're playing for nothing, so they've got nothing to lose. So it's a very tight contest up there, and I bet you the Fury are a little bit worried.
Caulfield creating her own opportunity using the mid-quarters. And the ball out. And now we have Panthers throw in.
Yeah, I think the Panthers have done enough here with only 3 minutes to go. I feel like consistency was a bit of an issue tonight, so hopefully it's not usually like this for the Panthers, but they seem to fade in and out of the game today. They're up by 10 and then all of a sudden it was 2, so they need to make sure that once they get to 10 goals, they put their foot down and just continue on with it.
Lovely shooting by Bull. And she's really offloaded a lot to Makunde tonight, but she has got a great shot. Gillings still pushing. 55-47 though. That lead is now 8 goals. And the intensity that once was about North Shore's game has sort of faded a bit.
Yeah, and they're just chasing now in defence, so that makes it easier for the Panthers' attack end, because they don't have to do too much except for make their leads. They don't have to change direction. They need to pick the pressure back up, but they probably realise the game's over, unfortunately.
And as I say that was some good attacking play. Had to go the long way around, but got there in the end. And the screaming from court 1 is really echoing down here now. GWS over the Heart 53-52 with 40 seconds on the clock.
I think it's safe to say the Panthers have locked up the minor premiership here tonight.
Yeah, Jack Whiteheader will be very happy.
Yeah, she's over there clapping on the sideline. No smile on the face just yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Poker face. She was Coach of the Year last year in the first season of the Samsung Premier League, obviously coaching the Panthers
to their maiden and inaugural championship.
That's right. They had to win 6 in a row. It was a huge fight back.
Yeah, really impressed by that, actually. Sounded like they were down and out there for a moment, and then all of a sudden they were in the grand final and found themselves as premiers. So she's obviously done wonders with the girls, and it's continued on this year.
And Paige Hadley's mum has been helping out in recent weeks with the Panthers. I'm wondering if you've seen her over there and just haven't mentioned it.
No, I saw her. I actually Snapchatted Paige a picture of her saying, I spy with my little eye something beginning with S, because Paige's mum's name's Sandra. So, yes.
So S or F?
S.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
I was thinking there was an in-between joke I was missing there.
No in-between jokes. No, Paige's mum loves her netball. not just Paige's netball, but obviously grassroots as well. She's very, very involved at the Penrith Netball Association. So it's great to see that, because it's a hard job being a volunteer, but somebody's got to do it.
And she actually came along and watched some of the matches happening while Paige was helping out with expert comments earlier in the year.
Well,
so you can tell she does love it netball.
I'm sure they weren't as expert as mine, but it was nice. It's nice of Sandra to come out with Paige.
All right, the Panthers, the minor premiers now, 18-12. They've beaten North Shore United by 6 goals. And I guess dominant. As you said, there were some moments where they faded in that momentum, but dominant across the most of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly that fourth quarter, 18-12. That's the largest score of a quarter for the game, and it was a big buffer there for them to get that 8 goals up on the United team after such a strong performance by United in the third quarter. So, yeah, they did a good job. I thought they lacked a little bit of consistency throughout the match, but doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're minor premiers. They're off to the finals, and hopefully they'll find themselves in that grand final again.
In good nick for it. You can see Nadia McDonald and Jack Waheddle. We've just missed them. They were in the middle of the court exchanging pleasantries. Obviously probably know each other, been around netball a long time.
Yeah, I'd say that they're relatively good friends. They've probably coached against each other, potentially even played against each other as they were growing up. So it's always nice to see those friendships continue on, even as you get a bit older and you're no longer playing against one another.
All right, well, we'll grab these important scores happening elsewhere in Netball Central and bring them to you with our game wrap very shortly. All right, well, the Panthers have wrapped up the minor premiership with an 8-goal win over North Shore United tonight. Abby McCulloch, what are your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. It ebbed and flowed quite a bit, but the Panthers were able to pull themselves together and get the win by probably not the margin I thought. I thought they might have pulled away with a bit more, but they were pretty good across the board. I thought that no one particularly stood out to me. I thought they're just really good performance from a team point of view, so I was really impressed with that.
And what about North Shore United? They're not going to play finals now. The Urner Hawks have won their game up on another court, but what would you say to them ahead of building for next season and coming away with that disappointing loss tonight?
Yeah, I think they should be proud of themselves. The score got out to 10 at one point and they managed to pull it back to 2. It's just those small little things that they need to tidy up for next season, making better choices under pressure, those silly little errors like steps when they don't need to be stepping, and just things that they can keep out of their game. So bringing the umpire in when they don't need to. So they're just small little things that they'll get better at as they get older. So I think they'll be playing finals next year if they can keep this team together, and Nadia can continue to train them hard over the off-season, because what I saw from them in patches I really liked.
Well, they played finals last year, but they got close this year now in 5th spot, and you were really impressed by Dakota Thomas, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought she was really good. Bit quiet in that last quarter, but throughout the first 3 quarters, I thought she was really good. She reads the play well. She gets out to ball. She took some screamers as well, which is good. She got her hand up for some tips, chased them up. So what more can you ask of a goalkeeper? That's what you need them doing. They need to be turning ball over, and that's what she did.
All right, well, in the other games around Netball Central, GWS played a really good game against the Heart, 54-53. It was actually 3v7, so nice and tight up on that one. Stingrays and the Sapphires. Stingrays got up by 1 goal as well, 41-40. That was 8v6. And the Hawks and Sparks, a really important game in the scheme of things in the ladder. Hawks in 4th spot have won against the Sparks in 2nd spot, 54-46. So the Sparks hang on to 2nd place just by 1 point. Really tight now on that ladder. And next week it'll be Panthers and U20's to play off in the first semi-final, and GWS against the Hawks in the second semi-final. Have you been impressed by what you've seen in Premier League, Abby McCulloch?
Yeah, I have. I particularly like the under-20s, mainly because I don't know many of the girls. So to be able to see these fresh new faces out on court playing, and it's really exciting to see where netball's going in New South Wales. I think we can safely say that netball's in safe hands with these girls. So I'm excited to hopefully get out here over the next few weeks to watch some finals netball and see who ends up with the championship.
Well, thank you for being part of our coverage tonight. We're looking forward to having you in the next coming weeks. So be with us next week as the semi-finals kick off here on the show court. 7 o'clock, the first game will happen, but make sure you're watching Bar TV. We look forward to your company then.